This live stream is presented to you by MaxspeedTV. All live streaming content that is presented in this telecast is owned by MaxspeedTV, Rudy Cummings, and the entire crew of MSTV. This may not be rebroadcasted, retransmitted, and retelevised without written consent. Please enjoy today's broadcast. Welcome everybody here live for tonight's event here for the iSCAR YAS Street Stock Tour, getting set to go green flag racing here at the Lanier National Speedway. My name is Ezekiel Reyes.
I'm Benjamin White, and Cody Sills alongside us tonight, one of our new commentators for tonight. So, Cody, how excited are you for this first chance at calling a race here on MaxspeedTV?
Oh, I'm so grateful for it. This has been awesome. Already watching the practice, seeing all the cars slide all around the track and everything. I think this is going to be some fantastic racing for tonight.
Definitely. It's not going to be your classic iSCAR race, of course. We're here tonight on the dirt side of things. First time these drivers are going to hit the dirt for this season. The only time they're going to hit the dirt. And they'll run around in the dirt street stock as currently on top of the board, William Schmidt in the number 79. One of the veterans top in charts right now. Only reason he's up there is because he was the first one on track with a clean slate to log in a couple of fast times. But yeah, a lot of drivers here. I think over 30 drivers here for tonight. So I think 40, 41. I don't know. Dog can go ahead and take a look at how many drivers have registered in the session. But it should be a good one to find out on who those plus 40 drivers are gonna filter out to this top 24.
Yeah, I really think some big favorites for tonight's race. I see Trey Shuttlesworth already up on the practice boards. He's going to be one definitely to beat tonight. Also, Christopher Weil, of course, won one of the races in the Sprint Car Series, actually at this racetrack, so he knows his way around this place as well.
Yeah, I think two drivers you got to watch out for is Schmidt and Smith as well. They've been top of the boards here in the practice so far, this entire practice, so I'm going to be watching out for them.
William Schmidt working himself through, as he's usually not a particularly fond of dirt racing, but he's got a 1500 I rating, a D class of a 2.27. Derek M. Smith, that Cody was just talking about, C class of a 2.56, I rating of 1600. But we mentioned him earlier, that 119 to Trey Shuttlesworth. His scheme is not loaded because he's not in the car. Shuttlesworth, 3000 I rating on his resume. I expect him to be one of those drivers to be challenging for that top spot once we do come into the feature for tonight's 75 lap event.
Yeah, with qualifying coming up in a couple minutes here, it's going to be really crucial for everybody to get a good lap in because, of course, top three will move on to the feature tonight, and then the rest of them will be sorted into heats, and you want to have a high starting position in those heats because, of course, cautions are off. You don't want to be in the middle of that mess. Definitely.
That's a great point. Cautions are off during heat racing, so you have to be in position as soon as that green flag drops. If you're not, you're going to be sitting outside that top three or maybe top six window if you're in the consolation race or last chance qualifier. You're not going to be in that feature, so these drivers have to be on their A game and get themselves right. I see Kendrick barrel it into the end of the pit wall, but yeah, I'm interested to see on how these asphalt drivers will adapt here onto the dirt surface. Of course, dirt is way more dynamic than what you see on the asphalt side of things. We'll take a zoom out shot right here. You see the middle and bottom portions of the racetrack. That is all slicked off now. Drivers take laps around the racetrack. forgot to put down points. But yeah, that's what I forgot to do. Oops. I might do that during the national anthem, and we'll go through on how everybody sit in for points momentarily. But in the meantime, Launch Jackson Minshew and multiple other drivers work themselves around the track. Who do you expect to come out in victory lane here for tonight?
My money is going to be on Trey Shuttlesworth. He hasn't won in this league in a while, and I think it's time for him to return to victory lane.
Definitely. He's definitely going to be one of the contenders here for tonight, but I'd go for somebody different. I expect maybe Christopher. Of course, he's been in victory lane here in the sprint car series. I expect that number 41 to come up top.
Yeah, I got to put my money on Schmidt. Watching him doing his practice laps, he's been really arcing the track just perfectly. If he could do that in the main event, I think he's going to be the one to watch.
All right, as the checkered flag waves and we move ourselves into qualifying, we're going to scoot ourselves to the side. Our eyes out, remove your hats as we salute our nation's colors. Welcome back, everybody, here live for tonight's iSCAR Street Stock event here for the iSCAR YAS Street Stock Tour Lanier Derby 75, getting set for round number 3 here at the Lanier National Speedway on the dirt version. Right now, qualifying is underway. These drivers scoot themselves on the racetrack to log in their fastest two. Currently a minute remaining in practice as of right now. Apologies for that big delay. We got all our points and such in which we're going to pull up right now. Ryan Kendrick currently on top of the board. Josh Patterson in the O2 is in second place. Matt Johnson at third. Brody Gardner in fourth. Zach Corbett fifth place.
Yeah, some other notable drivers that are inside the top 20. You see Nick Miller there in 8th. Cole Woody, who is right now suspended, is 9th. He will not be here tonight and for the foreseeable future. Hunter Rupp, who got his career best finish last week, is 12th in points, so he's on a steady climb upwards. And Same with Ryan Kwan. But lots of surprising names up here in this top 20. Of course, Matt Alexander, one of our other guys that commentates some of the races. Of course, he does the IMSA races each Wednesday. He's 18th in points, so pretty nice start to his season as well, but I do not think he's here.
Yeah, I think the points really show up here. I think Nick, if he could get a good night, he could really be moving on up along with Hankins there and Corbett. So
yeah, they're only within at least 20 points of that leader of I think it was the double zero Ryan Kendrick. That's right. Speaking of Kendrick, I don't know where he qualified, but those top three, unsurprisingly, topping charts. Trey Shuttlesworth, Aiden Saunders, and Alex K. Gretz on top of the board. We're seeing Harry Grindle working himself through the racetrack in 3 and 4 on the bottom side. A tacky track here in qualifying as he crosses the start-finish line. Don't know if that position is going to change or what, but that number 70 is going to be in that 11th spot. But checkered flag is waving, and we'll go ahead and scoot ourselves into the next session. And this is going to be heat number 1. Order's going to be shown on the left-hand side of the screen. I'm excited to see who's going to come out on top for this one. It looks like 20 drivers here for this first heat.
Austin Johnson's going to be on pole here. He just misses getting on to the main event. The 3 people who moved on and are already in the main event are Alex K. Gretz, Trey Shuttlesworth, and Aiden Saunders. So congrats to those 3. They will already be in the main event before all these heats have been sorted through.
I think that's a big break for them. They could take a deep breath and just relax until the main.
Yeah, for those top 3, they're going to have to wait a while through all the heats and last chance qualifiers and such. But in the meantime, we're getting set to go green for 10 laps. Once everybody does grid up on here, we'll go ahead and roll them off on pace for 2 laps. And once that pace car drives up on the pit road, Austin Johnson will be leading the field to the green alongside the 137 of Kendrick Crayer, and who's making for his first ever start here in the iSCAR Street Stock Series.
And in iSCAR in general, so good to see these new guys not only here but doing well. But let's go through our starting grid for this first heat. Of course, Austin Johnson will be starting first, Kendrick Crayer second, and then Dominic Howe, Christopher Wheel, Aaron Maroney, Glenn Bundren, William Schmidt, Dylan Basin, Nick Miller, and Jackson Menchu will round out your top 10.
Zach Corbett there in the number 84, Peter Smaffett, Jake Corway, Liam Sheen, James Youngman, Garrett Hess, Tyler Coners, Matthew Klein, Darius Sosa-Dadigar, and Peter Kenny. Number 35 also on the racetrack as we get set to go green. Everybody's all gridded up, and the pace truck will go ahead and start rolling off. And here in 2 laps, 2 pace laps, we'll get set to go.
I think the biggest thing about these heats are going to be that there's no caution, so there's going to be a lot of aggressive driving, I do believe, and it's going to make for some fantastic racing.
Definitely, and with the tacky track, everybody's just going to be gunning for that bottom side. I expect this first heat to maybe be more calmer, because it's mostly just going to be one groove right up against that inside, but we'll have to see once LCQs and for that last LCQ on how everybody will sort themselves out. But right now, Austin Johnson's working himself down the back straightaway, and for heat number 1 out of 3, we're going to take the green flag because the pace truck scoots itself onto pit road. Green flag in the iSCAR Street Stock Series.
Dominic Howe already making it 3 wide. You see Johnson did not get a good start. The 58 moves all the way to the inside, and he's going to take probably the lead here, but Kendrick Crayer fighting on the outside. A big wreck happening behind. They actually do all save it. Never mind. Jackson Menchu was flipping and careening out of control on the back straightaway, upside down and on top of other cars. Of course, no caution, so we stay green. Dominic Howe leads the first lap.
And one of those people involved was one of those top runners, but meanwhile up front, the number 58 of Dominic Howe is attempting to go ahead and pull himself away. He had a great restart and took it 3 wide as soon as that green flag dropped, and he's now up front but trying to hold off that number 21.
Johnson's all over him. He's going to try to arc it just a little bit more, get a good run on to the back. He's all over his back bumper once again into 3 and 4. Trying to go for a lower approach. Not going to work out. He's going to slide up right behind him.
There's a car smoking right ahead of these guys. I think he needs to get off the track. I think that may be Liam Sheen in the 47. He's smoking. I don't know why he's still on the racetrack. And these leaders are approaching him, but he does get out of the way, so he's at least being considerate there. But for these top 3, they just want to move on to the main event right now, of course. Those guys would be locked in out of this heat.
Battle for here for second place as Austin Johnson slipped up off of 4. Look at that 3-wide action to the bottom side of the racetrack. Went that 137 of Kendrick Cryer, but for the lead, the 58 slides up the racetrack and they're side by side across the start-finish line. Don't know who led that one. That was really close at the wire, but might have been the 58 of Dominic Howe. 5 laps to go, halfway through tonight's heat, and Dominic's starting to fall a bit. He needs to keep himself inside that top 3 window so he can advance the feature.
There goes one guy in the pits. He decides that he needs to get out of the way. He gets the pit wall in doing so, but of course is letting these leaders race it out for themselves. Of course, Austin Johnson has taken the lead here, Cody. What are you thinking about this racing so far?
It's entertaining. I mean, with the lap cars are even making it a little entertaining as well with them getting in the way. But Johnson just had so much speed off the turns. I feel like it was just a matter of time before he was going to get past Howe there.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot of rallycross, of course. That's going to help you as far as, you know, keeping car control goes, and he's doing a good job up front. You see he's starting to pull away right now, of course. As you said, Cody, a great exit off of the turns.
Working himself. Oh man, Dominic might have tagged the inside wall. He washes up the racetrack, and for third place, that 137 to Kendrick Cryer, who's been blinking ever since the drop of the green. Luckily, he's keeping himself in third place. Mulrooney is most likely not going to have a charge. White flag waves where that number 21 of Austin Johnson works himself into 3 and 4. And Dominic Howe, Kendrick Cryer, they're wrecking in front of him, but luckily for Dominic and Austin, they get themselves through. And the top 3 will be Austin Johnson, Dominic Howe, and Kendrick Cryer.
Good job to those 3. They will be in the main event later tonight, but Aaron Mulrooney is going to be the first one out, but that'll put him in good position for the LCQ at least. So, of course, last week's winner has a little bit of an uphill battle to climb now, but really good first heat. I can't wait to see what the second heat brings for us.
Yeah, and with that, I'm going to be watching Johnson in the main event now. How much speed he had off those turns and how he was able to drive the corners. I might have to change my winner pick.
Curious if, yep, heat 3 was skipped, so still top 3 per heat get in. That's why these, I was curious on why the heats were pretty big. I thought they'd split it into 3, but I guess not. So that means that last chance qualifier, that window might not be top 6. It might be top 8 or top 7. So that LCQ is going to expand even further.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting because based off of the math here, I think what we're going to have, of course, 3 people moved on from qualifying. And if 3 people move on from the heats, that's going to leave, I think, 15 spots open. So
I divide that into 2.
LCQs, yeah, but that's going to be odd numbers. So
7 and
I don't know.
7 and 8.
7.5. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But let's go over your starting grid for this second heat. Charlie Byer will be on the pole for this one. Carson Poindexter alongside him on the outside. Then Derek Smith, Harry Grindle, Hunter Rupp, Glenn Townsend, Michael Bianchini, Brandon Mettler, Matt Johnson, and Kealoha Hankins are going to be the top 10. And then you have Matt McGrath, Joe Berge, James Hill, Kevin White Jr., Ryan Kwan, Ibrahim Dajani, Ryan Kendrick. Doesn't look like Max Urich is on the racetrack right now, so looks like it's going to be 17 guys battling for what we think is going to be 3 spots here in this second heat.
I see a lot of veterans up here. Oh, you can go ahead, Cody.
I gotta say, I like that 66 scheme. The Lightning McQueen Rusty's car. That is, it's pretty cool looking.
Yeah, definitely a recreation of what ran in the Cup Series. Rip Kyle Larson, by the way. Unfortunate for that number 42, but yeah, that number 66 of Derek M. Smith sporting those colors as we work themselves into 3 and 4. The 7 of Charlie Byer is going to be leading into the green, and the green flag is out. No 3-wide action up front, but they slowly roll off into turn number 1.
Yep, Byer gets a good start. Poindexter on the outside did not get that good of a start, but you see Derek Smith already working the inside of the racetrack. Hunter Rupp's going to cut Harry Grindle off, put him in the wall down the back straightaway as they head into turn number 3. two new 408 drivers. That's Michael Bianchini on the inside for fourth on his new teammate Hunter Robb.
Look how close they are to the inside wall. They're just about hugging it, and they're clogging up the inside for, looks like the 66, and Derek M. Smith is trying to shove himself to the bottom side of the racetrack. You see how lower he is. But the 7 of Beyer got really sideways, opens up the door, but I don't think that 66 of Derek got a nice run through 3 and 4. He couldn't take the bait.
I think that Beyer there, he about spun out. I don't know how he saved that thing.
Big rack back there.
Slams in the bow.
Harry Grindle gets sent around to the outside of the racetrack, so his heat is probably going to be over with, and he will have to go to the LCQ to fight for a spot in the main event. But up front, you see there, Charlie Beyer trying to fend off Derek Smith right now, who's been working his way up to the field.
Charlie, Derek's coming. He's definitely there. It's just a matter of time before he passes for the lead. Oh, looks like he got a bit tight. Couldn't whip that rear end around to get a corner through, but he's definitely looking. He could shove it to the inside and maybe give a bump and run to the 7 of Beyer, who shoved it into the corner again. He washes up the racetrack. It's 5 laps to go. We're halfway through tonight's heat. And oh boy, that 66 is not letting go.
I don't know if this is what it looked like last time around coming into the 3. Derek may have let off just a tad to let Beyer in, because if not, Beyer's going to take that front end off of Derek. That could have been bad for both of them still. That could have been more helpful as, whoa, Beyer way low, he slides up, and here goes Derek, and he'll go to the lead down the back.
Beyer tags the outside of the wall, and new leader, the 66 of Derek M. Smith, is running to the front, but Beyer is trying to go to the bottom side of the racetrack. Looked like he couldn't get a run. 3 laps to go this time by, and this is a dogfight for this one. But in the meantime, for third, Carson Poindexter is sitting nicely in that position. But for fourth place, 2 teammates, I think, are duking it out. The 72, Kiloa Hankins, and the 420, Bianchini. Both of them get sideways off the corner as they cross the line. 2 laps to go, and this top 3 is starting to pull away.
It's good for them because all they have to do is race smart. They'll be in the main event now. If they just finish the way they are, of course, those top 3 are going to be moving on. So coming into these final laps, Derek Smith starting to pull away. I think Charlie Beyer's going to be settled in here in second place. It won't hurt to finish second here. Of course, you'll be in the main event, so you have a shot at the real thing. As we are on the white flag lap now, Derek Smith down the back straightaway for the final time, and that Lightning McQueen paint scheme will go into turn number 3. And off of turn 4, Derek Smith will win the second heat tonight. Charlie Beyer second, and Carson Poindexter looks to be coming home third. Those guys will be moving on to the main event. Cody, what did you think about that second heat?
Man, it wasn't, I don't think the crashing was as much as the first one, but that was some fantastic racing. Some very smart racing by Smith and Beyer there. Poindexter, I think, had the best view of it, just sitting in third the entire time watching that. So that was really cool to watch.
Yeah, definitely. As we go here for this first qualifier, I don't know if they skipped. No, it looks like they didn't skip the second LCQ, but the lineup's going to be shown on the left-hand side of the screen. Mulrooney, Wheel, Bundren, Schmidt, Corway, Connors, Dadgar, Youngman, Hess, Klein, Miller, Corbett, Basin, Sheen, Menchu, and Maffett. Only 16 drivers in this one, but I'm curious to see who moves on. Looks like it's top 8 move on per LCQ. So
we'll be monitoring that We'll be monitoring that this entire race. So I'm gonna be watching for Nick Miller to be coming up through this field because he really lodged out in that first heat. So I think he's going to be just on a hard charge. Same with Zach Corbett. I think both of those guys are going to be able to make up the spots they need to get in the main. But we'll just have to see. 20 laps, and a lot can happen.
Yeah, I think Corbett kind of didn't get a good starting spot in that first heat, and so he was in the back and didn't really, I think he got caught up in a wreck as well, so hopefully he could have better luck this time and get up to that 8th position before this thing's over.
Definitely, and 16 drivers, so halfway, we're going to split this field half. Everybody outside that top, everybody 9th and under are going to go home. Everybody 8th and forward are going to be in. So the first LCQ is about to go underway. 20 laps for this one. Fairly long LCQ, honestly. But in the meantime, the base truck is going to scoot itself on the pit road. Mulrooney, we saw in that heat race, look really strong. Pace car is on in. Mulrooney is really holding back. He wants to jump the restart. They're stacking up right behind. Green flag is out. And we're back up and away here for this first LCQ of the day.
I'm surprised that Aaron really had a late start, because normally we've seen in other series and other races that he always goes as early as possible to get the jump on everybody, but takes a different approach this time, and Christopher Wheels fighting under him for the lead, but that outside looks to be really good line right now.
Yeah, definitely, and I mean, I think we've seen it in the first two heats, is that if you hold the inside just well enough, I think Derek and Johnson both did it perfectly. That's where they, that's how they got those heat wins. I think if they could, someone in this heat can do this, or last chance, my man, can do this, and we see some, looks like someone got pinched down in the back there.
They are all over each other for this 8th position. A lot of door banging in contact, but that is just dirt racing. That is what it's all about. And for this 8th place, looks like it's to be Nick Miller who's fallen back. The 47, Liam Sheen's also coming up in the mix as well. The 51 might have actually destroyed the end of pit road. I think Liam Sheen in the 47's out. I see him on pit road, or maybe disconnected. The 2 Mulrooney in the meantime is slowly pulling away, but for this 3rd spot, there's a dogfight. Oh, the 166 goes around, and that's Jake Corway.
Oh, man, he was in one of the transfer spots, 5th place, and spins right out of that position. That's going to be a big break for some of these guys that are out on the outside looking in. We'll have to see who's going to be able to take advantage of that, but these top 2 are gone. There's a battle for the 3rd spot behind Glenn Bundren and William Schmidt. We've been seeing Schmidt run the outside this entire night. Look at him rim ride to the top of the racetrack.
Yeah, he was first in practice, and he was using the outside and all that, and I thought he was going to be a little bit quicker in qualifying, but he was not. He's got a chance right now to move on with the third position. If I'm him right now, I would just race it out, not try to go too hard, not wreck yourself out. You're in a good position.
Yeah, I agree with you there, but some people don't really excel in qualifying. They're much more of a racer, so to speak, but yeah, some of these guys really showing what they have for this main event. I think some of these guys out of this LCQ are going to be very strong out of the gate.
Oh, a couple try. Oh, the 45 of Tyler Connors tags the outside wall. That's going to open up the door for this final position. And to the inside goes the 11 to Darius Reza Dadgar. I don't think he's going to take it, though. He backs out. He might shove it into the corner. Oh, we got tied, and he doors the 45. Around both of them go. They save it, though.
Connors with a really good save. It might save his night. We do have another car that is sideways on the racetrack. Saves it. Lots of great car control. Zach Corbett struggling. He almost spins the car out. Man, this back of the field is really struggling to keep the handle on their cars. Some of these guys might end up getting lapped before this thing's all said and done. We're not even halfway.
Man, sliding and spinning.
Corbett is involved in that. Darius Reza Dadgar is also involved in that one. And some of these leaders are approaching these guys. These guys either need to get it safely off the racetrack or get it in the outside grooves. So where will Aaron go? You see this car goes hard in the outside while just trying to get out of the way right there. We've reached halfway. Aaron Mulrooney has a 2-second lead on Chris Wheeler right now.
Yeah, I don't think Mulrooney's any bit worried about second place. I think he's more worried about these lap cars. They are all over the place. There goes the 80.
Bob and run there for that last chance position, and around goes the 80 as he got hit by the 47 to Sheen, who's a lap car. And the 80 Youngman, who is sitting in 8th place, gets booted all the way back to 11th. And the car who hit him was the number 45 of Tyler Connors. Oh boy, there's going to be sparks between them once they meet again. And unfortunately for that 80, most likely he's going to be going home. And the 45 is going to be running another 75 laps in the next session.
It's not over yet. Of course, a lot of things can happen in these next 7 laps, but looks like some of these guys are going to be safely, and you see Aaron Mulrooney, Christopher Wheel, William Schmidt, Nick Miller. I think all those guys are going to be safe as long as they go mistake-free or don't get caught up in any lap traffic mess. You see Klein's about to get lapped here by Aaron, so Aaron just setting a really fast pace out here on the racetrack right now.
Well, Nick Miller started 11th, and he's moved all the way up to 4th position. I think one thing that's helped him out there is avoiding the carnage. He was actually almost in the carnage earlier in this, but was able to escape that and moved all the way up to 4th into a good position. And I think another thing to look at is that Connors is almost, looks like 6 seconds up in front of Klein. So unless something drastic happens, it looks like our top 8 is secured.
Yeah, I think so too. But of course, no mistakes out of any of these guys. Right now, the last two guys in, Garrett Hess, Tyler Connors, all they need to do is keep the car straight, don't run into any lappers, and they'll be home free. But see, Aaron Maroney continues to stretch out that lead.
Well, Rooney is strong. He's pulled himself a solid 2-second lead over the number 41 of Christopher Will. We go back 3 seconds all the way to William Schmidt. Speaking of Schmidt, he got passed by the 88 Nick Miller. A bit of slide job action there. That's one of the terms we're going to be throwing around, especially on the dirt side of things. And the 88 moves himself into 3rd place. He is definitely coming. I don't know where Cody said he started. I think all the way back in 11th.
That's correct.
He is flying through.
Yep, that leads up to 2.6 seconds on the racetrack, and looks like Aaron has taken the white flag here. He's going to navigate around Liam Sheen, who is a lapped car. Aaron gets right behind him. Looks like he can just safely ride here. So for this LCQ, it looks like Aaron Maroney will come across to take the checkered flag, and he will win the first LCQ of the night. Christopher will come in 2nd place, Nick Miller 3rd, William Schmidt 4th, Glenn Bundard 5th, Jackson Metchie 6th, Tyler Connors and Garrett Hess to be the other 2 that move on to the main event. So good job to Tyler and the rest of those guys that have moved on to the main event.
Oh my gosh! The drivers running into each other after the checkered flag waves, but man, that was a sort of scoot and boot and get out of there for that number 45 of Tyler Connors. Again, James Youngman in that number James Youngman in the 80 and the 45 Tyler Connors. I'm interested to see the next time what kind of interactions will they have the next time they'll meet.
Alright, this final LCQ of the night, we have grid right now. Michael Bianchini and Kiloa Hankins are 2 teammates. They'll be starting on the front row, and then 3rd in points, Matt Johnson really needs to get in this main event if he wants an opportunity at some valuable points to maybe go for this championship. Hunter Rupp will start 4th, Joe Berge 5th, Brandon Mettler 6th, Matt McGrath 7th, Ryan Kwan 8th. In the final transfer spot as of now, and then you have James Hill, Ryan Kendrick, Ibrahim Dajani, Kevin White Jr., Harry Grindle, and Glenn Townsend. On the outside looking in, Max Sherrick and Peter Kenny, of course, not gridding.
Yeah, I do believe Bianchini and Hankins, they actually got into each other back in heat number 2. So I don't think there's any bad blood about that, but that was just, they were both in 4th, both going for 4th, and they both got into each other.
Yeah, of course, they're just trying to race hard, of course. The top 3 were moving on, so they both needed to move up. But all they have to do is run a clean race here, and I think they have a really good opportunity to move on to the main here. But Ryan Kendrick's another guy we have to be looking at. He's the points leader coming into the night for the Street Stock Series. He's on the outside looking in right now. Was almost last in qualifying. If he doesn't pick it up here, it's very possible we may see the points leader going home. Just like he did last week in the Super Speedway Series.
Work themselves off of turn number 4. The green flag is out for the final last chance qualifier of the day. Bianchini moves himself to the front in front of the 72 Kiloa Hankins, and their top 3 are all single file into 1.
Matt Johnson looking for some racing room on the inside there. All he has to do is run a smart race and he can move on to the main, but I think he wants a little more than that. But see, Kiloa Hankins trying to throw a little bit of fighter there, but he really gets moved out of the group by Matt Johnson. He's going to turn number 1.
These drivers are littered all over each other. 3 wide action. A couple people slide up the racetrack. Contact there. The 61 and 28. Ryan Kwan, Hunter Rupp door each other and around that 8th position. But meanwhile, up front, out for the lead, the 420. Michael Bianchini is trying to hold off Kiloa Hankins. They're side by side, 2 by 2 in the 1.
Man, this racing has been a lot more crazy than, of course, the first LCQ. Was mostly calm for the most part. And now these guys racing hard in this second of 2 LCQs here. Kiloa Hankins super loose off the corner. You see Joe Berge moving up the field. How about him in the 2nd spot?
I don't know where he came from, but he's moved himself up to position number 2. Right now, Bianchini's on the fallback as he's moved all the way back to 3rd, Johnson to 4th, and Bianchini's not getting the best exits.
Yeah, I think he's a bit too sideways right up off the corner. He needs to adjust his line and get a straighter exit off. I think he's wheeling it too much as he fends off for that 3rd place. Matt Johnson in the 191 wants a way around. He's using that cushion side of the racetrack, and there might be a bit of contact. There will be. Around goes the 191 into the inside wall he goes. That might end his day, depending on how the motor is, but looks like it's not smoking. He'll continue on, but Matt Johnson falls all the way back to 12th.
Oh, man. 3rd in points coming into tonight. He did not need that. You know who did, though? Ryan Kendrick. He has opportunity to get up into the one of the transfer spots here. Still outside of that, so we may see both the points leader and 3rd in points go home. Of course, Josh Patterson didn't even show for tonight's race, so top 3 in points really not having good days right now.
Yeah, Hunter Rupp is pressuring that 00 into a mistake, and Kendrick he's sitting in 10th place side by side with Hunter Rupp. It's not going to help him on that top 8. Now rim riding the racetrack. Looks like that's the 50 of Kevin White Jr. Oh, you see the 70 of Harry Grindle is as well in that mix. But meanwhile up front, how about Joe Berge is challenging for that front spot.
He's been really fast.
He's going to slide underneath, slide back up. And once again, underneath them, Hankins high, and Berge is going to be dead, almost dead even, at the front. And I think he's going to get him right here. Hankins might have the run off the turn. Yes, he will.
Man, really hard racing. Both these guys on the edge of control right here. This is exactly what kind of racing you want to see here for tonight's, of course, main event. We want to see a lot of racing like this, side by side on the edge of control. Get the best out of all of these drivers. But Joe Berge's going to be going to the lead here, guys.
Berge to the lowest side and might pull a slide job on the 72. It turned into a dry slick track, and right in front of that goes the 83 of Berge, but Kiloa is taking himself to the low side, sort of scared Berge up the racetrack. Berge might be a bit loose, but he pulls himself right up off the corner. Kiloa Hankins sort of unknowing where to go. I would try the high side and try to get a run off the corner, but Kiloa sticking down to the bottom side where he likes to be. He's still intact with that number 83 to make a challenge for that front spot, as we got another, looks like the 97 and wrecked in front of those, but he disappeared off track off the screen. Well, up front, how about that, the 83 of Joe Berge, and I just mentioned the blinking car. I think that's the 123 of Glenn Townsend, who's also having a bit of seizure problems with that internet.
Ryan Kendrick, Hunter Rupp continue to swap 8. This is the battle we really need to be looking at right now. Look at them all on top of each other right now. Ryan Kendrick, Hunter Rupp, Kevin White Jr., and Harry Grindle all battling for 6th. One of these guys is not going to make the feature as it sits right now. Hard in the wall goes Hunter Rupp right there. Ryan Kendrick is driving super hard. He's the points there. He really wants to make it. Kevin White Jr. cuts off Harry Grindle. These guys are racing for every spot on the racetrack. Hunter Rupp gives the door to the 70 of Grindle. He goes up the racetrack and into the wall.
I don't know what Hunter Rupp was thinking there, but he slid up. And White Jr. was not going to take it. He just kind of pushed him out of the way, as there goes Kendrick. I do believe he slides up. And he's trying to hold on to that outside, but he looks really loose here off the corners.
On board with a 00 as he works himself through 3 and 4. Kevin White is right up against the outside wall, running that cushion portion of the racetrack. But for this final transfer spot, they're side by side. And Kevin White is slower than all 3 of these guys. Well, he's sort of slower than all 3 of them. Maybe if Kevin White gets swallowed up by all 3 of these drivers, he might be the one missing out on this. Meanwhile, up front, Joe Berge is working himself off of turn number 2. He's coming to 2 laps to go as he pulls from Kiloa Hankins into 72.
Yeah, Joe Berge coming to 2 laps to go here. Really outstanding run from him. He may be another one to watch here in this main event, guys.
Yeah, the way he came up through the field here, and so quickly, too. He was already up to the leaders, I do believe, by lap 8 or so. So definitely he's got some speed in that thing.
Yep, white flag will be out in this LCQ. Joe Berge coming up on a little bit of lap traffic, but that lap traffic probably is going to get out of the way here. Kiloa Hankins trying to catch up to Joe, but down the back straightaway. This is going to be Joe's first win of any kind, I think, here in iSCAR. Coming off of turn number 4, he will win the 2nd LCQ of the night. Joe Berge has won this LCQ. Meanwhile, racing for this final transfer spot, Hunter Rupp has to do something really crazy here. Actually, Harry Grindle is going to be the odd one out here, so Hunter Rupp will be the last one in. Harry Grindle will be the first one out, so Harry will fail to qualify for tonight's event.
Berge's going to burn it down here on the front straightaway as we scoot ourselves into warm-ups. 5 minutes for all these drivers to get some laps in. And man, what you think of all that heat racing?
That was some unbelievable. I think the best battle of the night wasn't for the lead, but it was for the transfer spot. That last chance qualifier, second race, I mean, they were all bouncing off, beating each other, and that was some fantastic racing. And I think the battle for the lead in that second last chance was something that we hope to see tonight in the main event here.
Yeah, that racing really gets me hyped up for this main event. Of course, we saw some really good action, lots of slide jobs, lots of beating and banging. I mean, that's all we can hope for a dirt race here in the Street Stock Series. So, we'll have to see how this plays out. But while we're on the warm-up, any picks that you guys want to make for possibly winning the main event here tonight, as our field is set?
Like I said, I like Johnson. He was really quick in that first heat. I think he really rolled the turns perfectly. I think he's going to be the one to watch.
For me, I got my money on Aiden Saunders. He's always fast in the dirt races. If he wins tonight, it'll be his first iSCAR win. I think he has a really good shot at winning here tonight. But starting, I think, third in the main event, he won't have a lot of a uphill battle to climb. But of course, he's got to keep his nose clean.
You know, I think the three drivers that qualified in are at the biggest disadvantage because they haven't been in the racing atmosphere yet. They've only done the practices. So I think they're going to be at a disadvantage for the start of this race.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, but you also got to think about the experience of some of these guys on dirt. I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference.
Back to
some warm-ups right now as the track is, of course, re-prepped up back to its original tacky state that we saw in the first minutes of practice. But currently top in charts, number 7 is Charlie Byer. Kendrick Cryer in the 137 is in second place. He was fast most of this entire session. Number 21, Austin Johnson, here sitting in third place as well. Carson Poindexter sitting in fourth, Ryan Kwan in fifth. Derek M. Smith moves himself to the top of the board.
oh,
Runs through Kaloa Hankins, who warped through as he flies up against the outside wall. But Derek, you saw him in that heat race, or I think it was the LCQ or heat race. He looked really strong.
Yeah, he made his way up to the field, so I think he definitely is going to be one of the guys to watch. But I mean, there's just so many drivers that have a really good shot at winning tonight. So we will see who comes out on top tonight after 75 laps.
yeah, I like to pick the entire field because there's, I mean, really, I feel like everyone's got a chance if they could work their way up there. Everyone's got a chance in this thing.
Right, and of course, there's all sorts of talent, all sorts of talent range listed in tonight's field. You may be good. I mean, you may be good at the first laps of tonight, but that doesn't mean you're going to be well coming when that track slicks off and it becomes a dry slick track in which that top side will kick in. But we'll have to see for some of these drivers, like, who are going to be starting up front, if they can keep it up there and adapt. Like, for example, Aiden Saunders, Trey Shuttlesworth, as well as Alex K. Gretz. See Shuttlesworth currently running 11th in practice. Now scooting himself through. That's the 7 of Charlie Byer right behind him. You see the 66, Derek M. Smith. Dominic Howe is up here as well. Any surprising names you see in this feature?
I think, I don't know. I mean, a lot of these drivers are, then again, I'm new, but still, I think the field that we've got here is going to be fantastic.
There's no real surprises, but there are some people that were out that I was surprised about. Matt Johnson's one of them that I was really surprised it did not even make it to the main event. So unfortunate breaks for some of those guys, and I'll have to come back next week and hope for better. Of course, Matt Johnson third in points. This is a huge hit against his hopes for the championship this year.
Record flag is out, and we're going to scoot ourselves into race condition. And oh boy, who's going to come out up top after 75 laps of racing, or is going to be shown on the left-hand side of the screen? Derek M. Smith Gonna be starting on top as the lights display out on track. Track's lit up and the sun's now down. We're getting set for one hot night here at Lanier.
Let's go over to starting grid here for tonight's main event. Of course, we see Alex K. Gretz on the pole, Trey Shuttlesworth second, Aiden Saunders third, Austin Johnson fourth, Derek Smith fifth, Charlie Byer in seventh there with Dominic House sixth, then Kendrick Cryer eighth, Carson Poindexter ninth, Aaron Maroney 10th, and then you see the rest of the field is going to be shown on the left side of the screen here on our ticker.
Yeah, Burgee is going to start 11th. You talked about it in the last chance qualifiers. Burgee had such a strong car in the heats or in that last chance qualifier. He could be one to watch.
Field works themselves off 2 by 2 to get rolling here near National Raceway. Go ahead and show you race analytics here on the bottom right hand side of your screen. 75 laps we're going to be logging in for tonight. No fuel window. Pit road speed I think is 35 miles per hour. Don't know what the exact length we're going to be running here for tonight, but it should be as soon as you hit that throttle, all bets are off and everybody's going to be listed all over each other as Gretz and Aiden are sort of screwing around there. First and third, I know they're good buddies. I'm pretty sure they might dominate here once we take the green flag.
Well, guys, 75 laps. Expecting a lot of really good action here tonight. You see proximity teammates are going to be on the front row. Leading them to green is Alex K. Gretz as they go down the front straightaway. Already a little bit of contact back there. Dominic Howe got a little bit out of shape.
Green flag is out.
Not too sure what happened there. Shuttlesworth did not get as good of a start as I thought he was. Derek already moves up here into P4. And he slides up just a little. I think he wanted to get a run here on Shuttlesworth.
Out. Pile up back here. You see Austin Johnson got a piece of that, but it looks like it's only going to be a 2-car incident between Austin Johnson and Kendrick Cryer to bring out this first caution.
I think he was blinking in and out. He was blinking in and out really a lot. I'm not really sure if that were to be one of the factors, but we'll see what happened to the 137. Of course, making his first start here tonight, trying to roll the bottom side of the racetrack. Unfortunately, looks like trying to slide up in front of Austin Johnson, and around he went. Luckily, sort of warped through and tagged the outside wall. Not a lot of damage on that 137, but unfortunately, lost a lot of positions in the process.
I don't think Johnson got much damage out of that one either, so that could be lucky for him.
Gretz picks up the pace car as they work into turn number 3, and Saunders has moved up 1 position, and Trey Shuttlesworth has fell back 1. Seems like that outside line is not the place to be on restarts. Getting set for this green flag here in just a moment. I think we're double file for this restart. Indeed we are, so that number 8 of Aiden Saunders, as he doors that 017 Alex K. Gretz, maybe a bit of foreshadowing right there for the end of the race. Might be a single file restart on dirt. I'm not really sure as Gretz will go ahead and stack him up. Saunders all the way to the high side. Green flag is out, and they're stacking up right behind as well. Saunders to the high side for the lead.
I don't think it's going to be deemed illegal by iRacing if you at least don't pass him doing that, but obviously he's the only person to even try that move here on the outside. But you see 3 wide into turn number 3. Charlie Byer is trying to make his way up to the field, but Austin Johnson also trying to recover from that early incident. He's still holding a top 5 spot right now, but Alex K. Gretz up front fends off Aiden Saunders for now. You see that Signal Security sponsored paint scheme right there. He's had that sponsored for a while.
Oh!
Poor Alex. They both hang on to it. It's some fantastic battle right now, early in the race.
I think you said it best. Yeah, that was definitely foreshadowing what's going on here with the lead. And here comes Shuttlesworth. He probably wants to get past all this so he doesn't get tangled up in their incidents.
Saunders flung up the racetrack, and he went up the hill, opened up the door for the 119, and Shuttlesworth moves himself to the low side. Saunders is fending off the 017 at Gretz. Shuttlesworth is sideways. Through the middle is the 21 of Austin Johnson, and he moves himself into 2nd place.
What a move by the 21, but Aiden Saunders using these guys behind him to be able to pull away. As you see, Gretz tries the inside once again into turn number 1. These guys are racing really hard, but also really clean. I am very impressed with the race that they're putting on right now. You should see some guys in the wall back there. That's Charlie Byer that just got put in the wall in the 7. So he's been falling backwards a little bit this race, and that's going to make it worse. He's back to 14th now, but Austin Johnson looks to the inside for the lead, but Aiden Saunders gets a really good exit. They're going to door bang off turn 2,
and around goes the 21.
Turn around
Yellow flag is
by
out.
Alex K. Gratz. Caution is out for the 2nd time tonight. Austin Johnson gets turned around. Everybody else does a nice job to avoid the 21 car right there. Hard racing. He got in the side of the 8 and just got really sideways, went down on the 017, and around he went.
Take a replay of what happened to that number 21 of Austin Johnson, just trying to roll the bottom side of the racetrack. I don't know if he was trying to slide up or expected Saunders to be a bit higher, but man, around the number 21 one of Johnson, I thought he was a sitting duck. He nailed the throttle there right up off the corner. I thought he was going to get hit as he was sideways in the entrance of 3. Luckily for everybody, they keep it straight, but Aiden Saunders retains the lead because of that.
Yeah, I think that he thought Saunders was going to be up higher, Johnson did, but that was not the case, and Shuttleworth really just an innocent bystander there, got the back end of Johnson, spin him around. But one driver is watching on that little green flag run we had there. It was Mulrooney, moved his way up to 3rd position. He took it 3 wide with Derek Smith and I do believe Poindexter, and he's already moved up to 2nd place, so I think he's got a pretty strong car.
All right, pace cars in. We're back underway. Aiden Saunders gets a good restart down there on the inside line. Of course, double file. We went there as we did not have a crash on the first lap off the caution. So by rule, we're able to have double file restarts, but that's not going to take long. How about Nick Miller really getting bounced around right there, but he's going to save it. Dominic Howe also got a little bit of contact, but Chris Wheel gets turned around right in front of the field. Ryan Kwan gets a big crash. Ryan Kwan up in the air down the front straightaway. Jack Menchu also involved in that one, yes.
Oh, the wrecking board.
Out. Garrett Hess, Hunter Rupp, a big pileup. Tyler Connors is also involved in that one. Ryan Kendrick as well, but these cars are really tanks, so a couple spins is not really going to hurt you, but if you get hit hard in the front end like Ryan Kwan did, your day may be done.
Got a replay of what happened to the 28 of Kwan as he got nailed. All these drivers were all sorts of sideways already. We got a rewind of that. The first car to get sideways was the number 41 a while. Sort of washed up right into everybody, but there was all sorts of contact being led up into that. Well, looks like tried to go to the low side of Miller. Got slowed up. Byer was there, and you see the 28 of Kwan bling down to the inside. Nowhere to go for the 9 of Menchu, unfortunately.
I think Kwan thought he had that one cleared and then just got clipped at the very end there. And Menchu, nowhere to go. I think he thought he had it cleared too. He was going on the inside of it, and Kwan just came out of nowhere.
So we will go single file for this restart. Of course, the caution coming out on the opening laps, so Aiden Saunders has a big advantage coming here to the green. He scoots himself right up against the outside wall, and the green flag is out, and look at the jump he got. He pulls himself by a car length, maybe hurt too. Well, the 17 of Alex K. Gretz, who might have got shoved into the corner, and here comes the 2 of Mulrooney to the bottom.
Derek Smith also looking to the inside, but Aiden Saunders may be reusing that tactic over and over as he may continue to be able to lead on these restarts. So these guys have to be looking at the restart tactics of these leaders to see how good of a restart they can get if they're the leader. You see Austin Johnson trying to recover from that early incident there, already making his way back up to the field. He's in the top 10.
Yeah, Saunders, great restart, but Mulrooney was trying to catch up to him, and I think he might have a chance here. He's trying to roll it a little bit better.
Saunders got sideways off of 2. Speaking of sideways, around goes the 1 of Poindexter in the background. That will throw out the yellow flag. Also have a car in the background as well in the top right of the screen. And Menchu runs in. It might have been a triple-digit number. I'm not really sure. It might have been Kendrick Cryer. No, it wasn't. Might have been
Brandon
the 4.
Mettler.
Oh, looks like Brandon Mettler. And caution comes out again for the 3rd time tonight. I'll have to see what happened to all these drivers and Bianchini. Oh, that's a rip.
Yeah, there he is sitting right there. That is Mettler in the 120 car right there that was in trouble there. So
Bianchini almost slammed him there.
Yeah, these guys really had to jump on the binders to avoid that one. Oh, you see coming right to a stop. I don't know if he hit him or not, but that was really close.
Looks like both self-spun, but you saw the bit of contact with the 58 and the 1 of Poindexter and Dominic Howe. Both of them doored right up off the corner, and unfortunately, the number 1 was a victim of circumstance, so we're going to double up yet again. Or will we? Yes, we will. Mulrooney is going to work himself to the low side. I think Saunders picked the high side for the start. No, we're single file. I guess not.
I think it was... Sorry.
Go ahead.
I think it was Hendrick there, or Kendrick, that got into Metler there, that spun him around and just kind of set him down. He couldn't really get moving as we go back green.
Green flag.
Man, these cautions have been really, really fast. Have you guys noticed that?
Yeah, definitely. It's just a product of dirt racing. You only, what happens here is we have a, oh my gosh, we have a big pile up here.
No,
Wheels in it. Looks like Gretz is in it as well. There's the caution. Now one car's flipping.
Oh.
Upside down goes the number 7 of Byron. He gets it back on all 4, but that was a big wreck in 2 and a late caution. That was really awkward as cars were stacked up on each other and such. A couple proximity cars I saw were in it.
Biggest wreck of the night by far.
It's like wasn't in it. Bianchini was actually stopped at the exit of pit road. Good thing he was. And looks like Gretz, his left front tire caught the end pit road, and all sorts of these drivers start to pile up. They move themselves to the high side. And the first car I saw sideways after that big wreck off of 2 looks like to be the 7 of Beyer. Might have got tagged by the 37. Beyer goes up and over. Luckily for that 7, I don't think there's a lot of damage on that machine, even though he flipped it over. He's still rolling here.
Yeah, like I said earlier in the broadcast, these cars are tanks. You see, Charlie's already been upside down, and we've seen other guys that have taken some pretty considerable hits, able to, you know, keep going here in this main event here. So that's good to see that even if you get involved in a mess that's not of your own doing, you can still be able to move on and maybe battle for the finish here. You see Aiden Saunders uses that tactic again, and he is gone here on the restart. Aaron Mulrooney trying to catch up to him, but he goes a little wide in that corner.
Saunders is doing a nice job of fending off, a bit sideways there by the 58 of Dominic Cal. Speaking of sideways, 72 Kilo Hankins. Looks like he saved it, but he falls back outside that top 10 window. Side by side for this position looks like to be the 58 Dominic Cal. Joe Berge goes side by side. Oh, Kilo goes around now. No caution, though. I'm really surprised about that, unless he gets himself rolling, and that'll throw out the caution or what, but looks like no. Up front, though, Mulrooney, not only does he have talent on the asphalt side, he has talent on the dirt, and he's gunning for the lead.
Here he comes, thundering and Saunders.
Yellow.
Oh, but the yellow flag comes out.
Oh, man. I was just about to say, Mulrooney needs a green flag run if he wants to catch up to Saunders here, but he's just not been getting it.
Well, that caution's going to be saving Aiden Saunders, I think, for at least the time being here. Let's see what happened. That was, of course, off the shot. You see a car spins right mid-pack right there. Gets it right back going. And unfortunately, iRacing triggered the caution out on the speedway there. But, of course, these cautions are really short, so we'll be back to green in no time. Looks like the car in trouble. Maybe Glenn Bundren in the 37.
Yeah,
It just
Bundren.
gets too sideways.
Whoa, man, the 21 of Austin Johnson. I have no idea how he slipped by the 37. That was really, really crazy. The way he spun was at the exact same moment as the 21 was passing by. No contact was made. Boy, Austin got really lucky there. We're stacking up yet again. Single file restart, but Mulrooney is on the backside of Aiden. We'll see what kind of restart. Number 8 of Aiden will pull the green flag. He's stacking up the field right up
I think he's going to use that same
wall.
tactic.
Right.
Well, through all this, Miller, Berge, and Howe have all moved up to 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Green
And
flag,
Miller,
green flag.
I remember at the beginning of this race, was almost spun out. So he's moved his way up all the way to 5th and maybe going for more.
That's Dominic Howe pinching real hard right up off the corner. Man, there was near contact between the two, but up front, Aiden Saunders. Oh, it looks like he got a bit sideways there in 4. That gap for the lead closed up, and Mulrooney has to find himself around that 8 before the next caution will fly like it did last time. For that 3rd spot, though, there's also a battle going on as Derek M. Smith's trying to fend off Dominic Howe. Howe's going to look to the low side, but Miller's there.
Yep, Miller's been steadily working his way up through the field, but let's give a shout out now to some guys that have just entered the top 10. How about Kevin White Jr. in 7th place? He's been running pretty well all day. You see Aiden really gets rear-ended there, but he's able to hold on to it. But I also want to give a shout out to William Schmidt. He's been moving up, of course, now in the top 10. As you see, these guys right on top of each other. First, second, third, fourth, all in this little group right here. As they go into tournament 1 and 2.
Aiden seems to be slower on the slicker side of things. Around goes Bergie, though, in the 83 will trigger a caution. Looks like it will not, but there's cars on the wall as Bergie's stopped in the lower groove of the racetrack. We will stay green as long as Bergie gets himself going before these leaders whip around. But for the lead, the two Mulrooney is coming. Bergie is there, and the caution gets triggered.
Yeah, I think that was an admin caution there. There's no other explanation for that. Of course, Bergie doesn't want to, get in the way of these guys trying to just turn it around, whip it around, get it back on the racetrack, but of course sat there just trying to wait until an open spot came, and I guess that open spot never ended up coming, and unfortunately, looks like maybe an admin caution has been triggered here.
Yeah, I think that's the 420, Michael Bianchini, to work himself to the low side. Unfortunately for that 83 of Bergie, he's a lap car, so he's going to have to catch a caution to get himself back on the lead lap. In the meantime, that battle for the lead yet again dwindled because of another caution.
I think the biggest thing that hurts Mulrooney is not just the cautions, but also the restarts. If he gets a good restart, like I think he did 2 cautions ago, he was right there on the back bumper. If he gets another restart like that, he could probably get past him without a caution. But this last restart was not the best restart for him. He kind of fell back and wasn't able to get to the back end as quick as possible. And how there, because they were coming up with a head of steam.
Definitely. This restart's going to be interesting as the laps wind down. The intensity rate is definitely going to ramp up. How will the two Mulrooney will counter the 8 of Saunders restart? He looks himself down low, but can't get it in time. The green flag is out, and we're up and away yet again on lap 44 out of 75. They work themselves into 1. Saunders on the low side. Look at that slide job for 3rd place as Dominic Howell's trying to clear the 66.
Yep, aggressive racing up here in the top 5. Nick Miller on looking there in 5th place. Kevin White Jr. up to 6th. They go through 3 and 4 right now. I think if it comes down to late race restarts, I think Aiden's in the late. I think he's got in the bag. But of course, we don't know if we're going to get a late race restart or not right now. 31 laps to go here on the track. Aaron Mulrooney is all over Aiden Saunders for this top spot going into turn number 3.
Saunders seems as though he's slipping right up off the corner. You see how big of a run of the two Mulrooney. Again, with the caution yet again coming out at the wrong place at the wrong time. Looks like a bigger pileup in turn 4. They're still drawing around Kaloa Hankins, and I think that's the 61 and Hunter Rupp running into each other, but we'll see what happens as they work themselves through. Looks like the 137 of Hendrick Prayer, and
oh man, nowhere to go.
That's unfortunate.
And he gets knocked into the pits too, so he has to go through the pits. I mean, I don't know if the caution came out. If he got knocked into the pits, he might have been given an entering closed pit penalty too, so that is really not good for Alex K. Gretz right there.
Yeah, everything just went wrong as soon as that, as soon as Gretz had problems, it has not been a great outlook right now for him, and Gretz are of course on pit road now. I don't know if he got himself out. Looks like he did. Joe Bergie still a lap down. Trying to get back on the lead lap, but we're stacking up yet again for the next restart, and we'll go ahead and pull up the panel here on the bottom right. There it is, 28 laps to go this time by 8 cautions in total. They're pushing and shoving for this lead. Mulrooney shoves out Aiden Saunders ahead, but he is there into 1. What will Mulrooney do?
I think Mulrooney's found out Aiden's tactic here, and I think he'll be a lot more ready for these restarts than he was prior to these last couple cautions. There's a lot of aggressive racing going on back there. Aiden Saunders just trying to hold on to this lead. You see Austin Johnson really sideways to the corner. You see Aiden Saunders up front trying to hold off the two of Mulrooney, who gets really sideways under him. We may have a battle for the lead here soon.
Yeah, he's trying to get it as low as possible. Well, one thing I want to point out is Johnson's moved himself all the way back up from that early incident to all the way up to 6th place. And he is a coming. He is really fast. And maybe if we get some green flag runs here, he could possibly put himself up here for the lead as Saunders a little bump from Mulrooney.
Man, he made that stick through the corner. He was all the way sideways through that whole corner, right on the bumper of the 8. Look at Dominic Howe shove his way through there. But Aaron Mooney gets pinched down in the corner. Aiden Saunders is going to be able to keep the lead because of that. What a great job of pinching there by the 8. He needs to do all he needs to do to keep this lead and go for his first iSCAR win.
Definitely, that number 8 of Aiden. It looks like he's too sideways on the entrance of the corner. Mulrooney wants to give him the bumper again, but he lost track of him by, looks like a car length now, but Mulrooney is definitely coming, and Saunders seems to be slow. Contact again, and the 8 gets sideways, but Mulrooney's there in the 1. Will he drive it to the low side and make something stick? Looks like no, but the 58 of Dominic Howe is not letting him go. Oh my gosh, Aiden's pinching so hard off the corner.
It's what he has to do, though.
I think Saunders knows if Mulrooney gets past him, there's no catching Mulrooney.
Caution's out.
Oh, and caution's out
Gonna
again.
help him.
Oh.
Eloa Hankins involved. Alex K. Gretz involved again. Glenn Bundren also smoking off the scene. Oh, man. Yeah, those guys really had to slow down. Of course, Kiloa just trying to get it back going there. Let's get a replay and see what happened here, guys.
Well, Hankins, you see him there as all dirt's flying all sorts of places, and
well, we just spins around.
I ain't gotten a tap. I'm not sure. We'll get it. Oh, that's a big hit. Alex K. Gretz again involved in another wreck.
Oh, your pole sitter.
Find better view. Here it is. And 45. Damn, right there. 45 of Tyler Coners got tight.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
He tried to get it back going, and there's nowhere right there for Alex K. Gretz to go, so his night goes from bad to worse. But I think this caution really helps our leader, Aiden Saunders, because now he can use that tactic that he uses on all the restarts to maybe get a big jump over Aaron in the 2-car.
Yeah, and I think another drive to watch on the restart is that 21 of Johnson. That's where he's been making up most of his positions due to all the cautions. He's been able to make up a lot of positions.
Green flag in the 2, Mulrooney. Oh, he turned out of his nose. I'm so surprised that the 2 were not hooked together, but third place, they're side by side. Nick Miller boots the 58 up the racetrack, but for the lead, here comes the 2, Mulrooney. What will he do as he enters 3? And that 8 of Saunders is just holding that bottom side, but Mulrooney's definitely faster, and all that pinching work has just led him to defend off that spot. But soon enough, that pinching
Yellow flag
is going to be enough. Oh, there's a cone flying as the caution flies. Not for the cone, though, obviously, but we're trying to find what caused the caution. And maybe Gretz in the 017 might have been it. Nope, it looks like no, not.
Man, I don't know what brought out the caution. I didn't really see a whole lot of trouble going on there. Maybe somebody was just sideways and it just triggered the caution. There's several things that it could have been there.
Watch the 137.
Oh, man.
Oh,
he gets turned around by Kevin White Jr. Oh, nice save. Just gets it turned back around, is able to keep going. That was nice different. Looking right there. Well, Cody, it's getting to the end of the race. Who you liking right now for the win?
I think a lot of people might say Mulrooney, but I gotta say Nick Miller. If Nick Miller can get there, and if these 2 guys wreck, Nick Miller's sitting in the catbird seat. This is getting fantastic racing in 3rd, so there's no telling what can happen in this finish. But another thing that I think could happen here is, like you pointed out, Mulrooney's been watching Saunders on these restarts, so he's trying to adapt himself to get better on the restarts with Saunders.
We'll see what happens here on this
restart. And they're all stacking up. Top 6 is only grouped up together, but they're off, and Aiden gets a better restart. Nick Miller gives the bumper to the 2, and he lost a lot of time. Saunders is gonna pull.
Yeah, those 2, 2nd and 3rd, they're actually teammates on SPG, so it's very surprising to see them really give the bumper to each other. But of course, they're all racing their own race. When it comes to the end of this thing, all they want to do is win this race. But right now, they have to get past Aiden Saunders as the yellow flag is out again.
Oh.
Stuck on the wall there, that is Tyler Connors in the 45. Unfortunate, maybe an end to his night. He hit the inside wall pretty hard there.
Looks like he just got loose a little, and then
Bam.
Oh, that's odd. Like, it just turned completely left on the exit of the corner. I don't know if maybe a hardware failure, because, I mean, it just turned dead left on him. So, either he just got super loose, or there's something else that we really didn't see there. Either way, very unfortunate end to the 45's night. He was coming into tonight looking for a good run and had it going until that issue down the back straightaway.
Alright, so the 2 Mulrooney, he didn't get a great restart last time because of Miller's bump. He's going to have another chance to get back at that number 8 of Saunders, but if he could peek his nose to the inside and Saunders shuts the door on him, I'm pretty sure, Saunders attempts to shut the door on him, might make a bit of contact and slow them both up. We'll see how the 88 and Nick Miller will handle this one as they're stacking up yet again for this next restart. Here we go. Aiden is on the brakes and he's on the throttle and we're back up and away. And looks like the 2 Mulrooney did not get going yet again.
Yeah, Aaron's been having a little bit more trouble on these last couple restarts. You see a little bit of aggressive racing down there for 3rd spot. Derek Smith goes to the inside of Nick Miller. Both of them are former teammates of each other. Now they're going to be the racetrack, but Aaron gets right to the rear end of Aiden, and he spins hard in the pit wall. Up and into the air, he gets pitched off the ground. There's no caution. Look at Derek Smith. He drives it hard in the corner, and he's going to be on the outside for the lead with 8 laps to go.
Side by side for the lead. Aiden on the low side. Derek on the high side. I think the high side will kick in. It's a matter of how that 66 will get the run off the corner. Aiden sideways. They dart. For the wall, and the caution flies. Who's the leader?
Who's in front?
I think it was Smith.
It might have been Derek Smith right there. Yes, it was.
Where did he come from?
He just threw it in on the outside, made it work, and I think he's going to be our leader right here. Let's see what brought out our caution here. We've been just having caution after caution. Of course, Aaron hit the inside wall. I'm not sure if that's what triggered the caution, or maybe
he's just sideways and couldn't get it going, I don't think. Well, he did get it going, actually.
Admin caution, maybe?
I don't think an admin caution, but wow,
may have been just triggered as he spun back around.
Right. But there was, there was wrecking. Berge goes around.
Berge.
There it is. We knew something else was going on right there. Garrett Hess also got a little bit of that there. You see Glenn Butler was really sideways in the corner there, but man, the complexity of this race has just changed dramatically. What a clutch move by Derek Smith to go to the outside, just go for it up on the outside, use every bit of the racetrack. Now, he's going to be in control of these restarts.
I mean, that number 66, he tried something different. Everybody was just hugging that bottom side of the racetrack and thought that was the line. Of course, with the changing track conditions now, the 66 is Derek M. Smith. He found something on that high side. He took it into work and into his advantage, and the 66 found himself up front. Now Saunders is going to be starting in 2nd place. What will he do when he starts behind the 66?
Yeah, I think one's loss is one's gain. And we are back green.
Saunders got a great restart.
Yeah, he's been really good on the restarts. Here he goes to the inside. You know he's going to be using all the racetrack, and he's going to be using up Derek Smith down the back straightaway, side by side.
Into 3. Saunders attempting the slide job. He gets sideways. Both of them are sideways. Might open up the door for that number 58 or Dominic Howe, but they're still side by side. 2 laps to go. Saunders gets into Derek. They're both sideways. Who's going to come out on the 2?
Derek slides up. He's going to bounce off the wall.
Here comes Aiden Saunders coming for the white flag. You see Derek Smith drives it in really hard on the outside, but white flag for Aiden. 1 more lap to his first iSCAR win. He's been wanting this for a while. Should have had it in the sprint car series, but got wrecked on the final lap. But as they go down the back straightaway for the final time, Aiden Saunders really wanted to win here tonight, and he will come off of turn number 4, and he will get his first win. Aiden Saunders will win here at Lanier.
What a finish, and what a restart by that number 8 of Aiden Saunders to get himself down low, not past that 66 before he crossed the start-finish line. He knows down there, and he shoved it in the corner to clear that 66 to Derek, and he wins here tonight at Lanier. Congratulations to number 8 of Aiden Saunders. What a finish.
Well, I think the defining move of that was that restart. And I think that was the first restart we saw tonight where Saunders wasn't the control car. And Saunders just had such a great restart control that it was so much harder for Derek to really hold him off.
And man, that was amazing there for those final 3 laps. We're going to look at the order here for tonight. Saunders rounds himself up top, Derek in second, Dominic Howe in third, Austin Johnson in fourth, Christopher Weil in fifth place, Poindexter, Miller, Rupp, and Shuttlesworth. Kevin White Jr. in his first start rounds himself out in 10th.
The 11th tonight will be Kendrick Crayer in the 137. 12th will be Brandon Mettler in the 120 car. William Schmidt will end up 13th tonight. Points leader Ryan Kendrick will finish 14th. Aaron Mulrooney Jr. after what I thought could have been a winning race by him ends up only 15th after a spin that really set him back. Then Garrett has 16th, Kilo Hankins 17th. Then Joe Berge, Glenn Bunchen Jr., and Tyler Connors will round up the top 20. Cody, you can read off the final 5 finishers here.
Yeah, Alex K. Gretz here finished 22 laps down in 21st. He was your pole sitter into this race, but had a disappointing race to say the least. Then 22nd is the 7 of Charlie Bear. He finished 25 laps down. 23rd is the 420 car of Michael Bencini. And 24th goes to Jackson Minshew, 50 laps down, and finishing out the field in 25th position, the 28 of Ryan Gawan.
We'll be back right after this. We're going to interview the top 3 after the iSCAR YAS Street Stock Tour. Lanier Derby 75. After completing 75 laps, we've crowned a winner of Aiden Saunders. Welcome back here live for tonight's post race. So we're going to go ahead and drag in the top 3 interviews, the top 3 into the booth. Aiden Saunders, Derek M. Smith, Dominic Howe here momentarily. But before we do that, what you think of tonight's race? We'll start off with you, Cody, of course. Cody, this is your first time on the MaxspeedTV broadcast, and of course, one of the first ever times you spectating an iRacing race. What do you Any comments you want to fling out there?
If every iRacing race is like this, this is awesome. I mean, it was Saunders' race from the beginning. Whenever he got those restarts, he was the control car, but it was so awesome watching Mulrooney and Derek and Howe all try to pass him in so many different ways. Derek with the outside, Howe trying to use the inside, Mulrooney really using the inside. But the entire race in general, just fantastic. Really, congratulations to Saunders and everything. But I think this was a really, really good race.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And really proud of Aiden Saunders. Of course, it's been a long time coming for him. we had a dirt series. He never really ended up winning in that. Of course, some of it not of his own doing, but really glad to see him get his first win tonight. Really deserves it, and can't wait to see what he thinks about his first win.
Yeah, definitely. 75 laps of racing is in the books, and we're crowned a winner of that number 8 of Aiden Saunders, who I think led the most laps. He definitely led the most laps. We'll have to pull up that, not the last lap pit panel. Nobody pitted, but it looks like he led 73 laps. So we had 3 leaders in total. Alex K. Gretz came in 7th, and Derek M. Smith, of course, leading this final portion of that race. But we'll go ahead and drag in that 8 of Aiden Saunders, and Benjamin, go ahead and take it away.
Aiden Saunders, you got a copy, brother.
I'm here. Sorry if my mic sounds horrible, by the way.
Oh, no. Well, Aiden, you finally get your first win. It's been a long time coming. Just explain how you got this win here tonight.
Yeah, it was a pretty good race. Everyone's probably pissed off because of the restarts and stuff, but I was just doing what I could, doing what I had to do. Yeah, just kind of controlled the restarts, and that's pretty much it. It was really one line because linear street stocks is boring. And
well, of course, the restarts are at the leader's discretion, so it's not like you were really cheating or anything as far as that goes, but you used the restarts to your best advantage, and you were able to pull it out. Do you have any final comments about this race? Like, did you think it was fun out there? Who were some of the guys that really gave you a run for your money?
Well, obviously Mulrooney was fast there. Austin was good in the beginning. Derek was pretty good too. He almost had me, and everyone in there is trying to bend me over backwards and steal the win from me, but they're not going to. It's fine.
All right, well, statement win for you, of course. Your first win. Any sponsors or teammates or anything that you want to thank here for tonight's race?
Yeah, I'll just give a shout out to Alex Grates and Trey Shuttlesworth for being in.
All right, man. Really good job tonight, and hopefully we see you out here more on the racetrack.
Yeah, I guess.
All right.
Up top, and we'll go ahead and drag him out of the booth. Start himself in the 3rd position. We'll go ahead and drag in the number 66, Derek M. Smith, who nearly stole that win at the end. Derek, on that restart, Aiden found himself to the low side, and unfortunately, you got dough bomb into 1 and lost the lead, but man, it was hectic up there from the drop of the green flag. You were up and down through most of the night, and you found yourself in the midst of the battle for the lead for the end of it. But I know you're not really a dirt racer. What kind of experience did you see out here tonight?
Well, I definitely saw a lot of good dirt racers. Some of them had some bad luck later on in the race, like Aaron, rest in peace. But for the reason why I lost that battle was because I had a bad shift coming off. I don't know how to shift these cars, and apparently Aiden jumped the start, but I mean that was happening all night, so it's kind of normal. But he was just able. He's a good dirt racer, and he came out on top, and I'm fine with that because he deserves the win.
Yeah, man, 10-4. Of course, again, you're mostly on the asphalt side of the spectrum in iRacing. Of course, not running dirt a lot. How was the car out there? Of course, you sliding around and such.
Whenever it got more slippery, I think I became more faster because people weren't doing as well in the slippery conditions. I was able to adapt to it more. Earlier in the race, when it was really grippy, that was probably my worst spot. Don't have much else to say, just that it was pretty good later on.
All right, man. 10-4. Derek M. Smith going to round himself out in 2nd place. But before we let you go, any sponsors want to thank you for tonight?
I want to thank my racing team, Sage and Smith Racing Enterprises, and that's it.
All right, man. 10-4. Congratulations on your 2nd place finish. Can't wait to talk to you coming to your next race.
Alrighty, see ya.
Derek M. Smith rounds himself out in 2nd. We'll go ahead to number 56, the Dominic Cow in 3rd. Dog's going to take this one away.
All right, Dominic, you got a copy?
Yeah, I'm here.
Well, you ran near the top 5 most of the night. How did you think the car handled out there?
Towards the end of the race, where all the rubber got laid down and it got all slick, I wasn't sure what to do, but I sort of found a groove on the high side, and I was able to stay there and manage myself. And I couldn't really pass anyone without spinning them out, so I just picked them off where I could and came home with the third, which is pretty good.
Yeah, of course, 2 podium finishes in a row to start the street stock season out. How do you feel about your chances for maybe going for the championship this season?
It all depend on I don't know. I didn't get to do the first race, so those guys who did the first race and have been in all 3 now, they might still be ahead of me. But if I can have a couple more podiums, I think my shot will be pretty good towards it.
All right, well, congratulations on a good finish here tonight. You have any teammates, sponsors, anything that you want to thank for tonight?
You guys for putting on the broadcast. It's pretty awesome. And then my proximity racing team. I forgot to run their paint scheme tonight, so just got Fury race cars on the car. But they're good guys.
All right, well, really good points tonight for you. Of course, you're going to be moving up a lot of places in the standings because some of the guys that were way up in points didn't even make the feature tonight. So you can get every spot that you can get there. And good luck for the rest of this weekend and, of course, the whole entire rest of the summer series.
All right. Thank you.
That was Dominic Howe, and finishing in 3rd place after starting himself in the 6th spot. And man, what a race. We're going to end off here at Lanier. 75 laps into the books, and first time winner is in victory lane. That number 8 of Aiden Saunders. Again, want to thank for everybody for joining in the broadcast here for tonight for the iSCAR Street Stock Tour. Season number 9 is halfway through now, through this 3rd round. It should be fun for these next 3 upcoming weeks, of course, with this points order shuffled and such. And that'll go ahead and round out tonight's broadcast. My name is Ezekiel Reyes.
I'm Benjamin White.
I'm Cody Sill.
And we're signing out here for the MaxspeedTV broadcast. Thank you all for watching. We'll go ahead and see you tomorrow for the Super Speedway Series.